go. We're recording. We're live. Welcome to another episode of Infourmers. I've got here with me a good friend of mine, Peter Walkom, owner and head coach of BodyTrack PT. So today we'll be talking about strength and conditioning. So I'm going to try to pick his mind and get some information, dissect some information from this gentleman. Yes, okay. So, yeah, for starter, our first question, sir, is how long have you been coaching?
How long have I been coaching? Right. I think from a professional standpoint, I started coaching in 2001. So that would have us, 19 years, nearly 20 years now. And I think prior to that, I did it without qualifications when I was given a set of keys to the weights room in the boarding house in the school that I was at.
All right.
So at school, we had a large gym area for doing PE lessons, but our boarding house also had a weights room area. And I started buying muscular development magazines, muscle and fitness and all that kind of stuff, and started to get an interest in strength work and bodybuilding and gym work from that. And I started writing programs based on what I was finding. So for other guys in the house kind of thing, I was training them from about the age of 15, which was where it all really got started for me. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Yeah. So it's been a long journey already for you. Yeah. Before qualifications. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah. Talking about strength and conditioning. Some people are confused about it, strength and conditioning. Where is the line that draws strength from conditioning? Do you have any, is there a demarcation from there, or do they really have to go hand in hand?
It's an interesting concept because I think strength and conditioning first and foremost was always the avenue that you wanted to go down if you were a sports person. So if you were serious about gaining athleticism and performance, then strength and conditioning training really started to gain ground when its application to athletes came about. So I think there's a dotted line as opposed to a broad line between strength and conditioning. Because I think to be an overall athlete, you need your foot in both sides. You get some people, for example, who look at S&C and they consider it to be, I just want to do the strength stuff. I just want to lift the heavy stuff. I just want to be able to lift heavy, which is great. But then if you can't move your body in a strong movement pattern as well, the conditioning from cardiovascular point of view, and then from a movement and mobility point of view, you need those aspects in there as well. So there's very much a kind of a yin and yang to the strength and conditioning work. You need to be able to build strength, but then condition it.
Yeah. So basically, the strength and conditioning approach are mainly focused for those people who want to be a well-rounded, like an athlete, basically. Yeah. So those people who cross trains and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely an element of it. I mean you've got the strength training aspect, the aerobic conditioning, and then the recovery methods as well tend to be a lot different. I mean, if you're a person that goes to a gym, you tend to follow what would probably be more like a traditional bodybuilding kind of routine.
Yeah.
Where you do chest and back, or chest and triceps, back, biceps, etc., and you kind of split it into training modes like that. Whereas to use your entire body with some of the Olympic lifting and things like that, and then incorporate things like foam rolling, and then core conditioning sessions, and then specific cardiovascular programming, I think that's where people start to lose touch with what the essence of strength and conditioning really is. They won't use the kettlebell because they don't understand it, and then they will only do leg extension or leg press because they don't understand the squat and the lunge and things like that. So I think as coaches, we've got to kind of like step up and give people that little bit more of an introduction to S&C and how valuable it can be all around.
I think also one key aspect is knowing what you're training for. That's what you said. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, big time. Because some people, they go into the gym Yeah, they want to be fit, but their definition of fitness is very vague. Yeah, I just want to be fit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big time. I mean, it's such
yeah,
an ambiguous thing. I mean,
yeah,
the biggest thing I have people coming in and asking me for is I want to be fitter and more toned. And you
yeah,
think, right, okay, I understand that you're using those terms, but
yeah.
what do they mean to you?
Hmm.
Because some people look at like on Instagram and social media and Facebook and stuff,
Yeah,
and they'll see all these fantastic physiques that people spent a lot of time and a lot of effort and money
yeah,
investing in, and they say, I want to look like that. And they say, right, okay, are you prepared to do what it takes to look like that? And then all of a sudden, their goals start to change when they realize they don't need a six pack.
hmm,
They don't need to have, develop quads and,
yeah,
massive biceps and stuff. And you think, right, perspective is absolutely key, mate. I think people have got to understand that going into the gym to just get fitter and healthier is a good thing. But if you train for purpose, it gives you so much more because there's more direction, there's more sense of achievement from when you do that type of training rather than just being a hamster on the hamster wheel like many of them are.
yeah. That, yeah, that's the main issue with some of the people. They want to get fit, very vague, very general. They walk into the gym and they start, "Oh, okay, I can use that treadmill. Oh, I can use the cycle, I'll bike." And then they'll just pick and choose of stuff that they want to do. No
Yeah, the stuff.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
the other
like.
thing. They become very insular in what they can and can't do. And if I think the biggest problem, because I mean, working in the industry early on, back in the early 2000s, starting as just a gym instructor, I got to see what it was like on the gym floor in several different types of gyms. So I was in some big chain gyms like Living Well and Devere, and then Total Fitness, and then a Sporter, and then there was LA Fitness as well,
Oh
and
yeah, LA Fitness. Yeah.
they all followed the same kind of stuff, which was give people an induction, which was essentially just showing them how to use every piece of equipment in there, which again isn't training for purpose. It wasn't telling them what was succinct to their goals. It was just saying, this is how you use the leg extension. This is how you use the lat pull down. This is how you use the treadmill, the cross trainer, and so on. And when you put the program together for them, it was very much a kind of one size fits all program.
Yeah, it's very what I call that generic program. Yeah.
Generic programming. And that to me was a bit of an early warning in the industry that it was more about getting people through the door and getting them in the gym. And if they lost a few members that month, that's okay, because they were marketing all the time to get more people through the door and just doing that process without really giving people the impetus and the focus on their training to get them the results that they thought they wanted. There was no real direction. So I was quite frustrated with the industry in my first few years, because it did feel a little bit not focused on helping people. So inductions nowadays don't really give people that much other than the health and safety obligation the gym has to
Yeah.
let you use it.
It's more of an insurance thing now, like a checklist for them. Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Very,
I think yeah, that's one downfall in walking into a gym. They show you all the equipments, what the equipment can do for them,
yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about it.
that's about it. Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it.
I,
And sorry, like
I think
one thing. Sorry. Carry on.
it was interesting actually. You said about the induction. They show you how to use everything. The other danger is as well is that you can go in and you can see a person who has a good program or has good genetics even, and is already using the gym that helps them sustain what they have, and they start to copycat. So they start
Yeah,
to look at that person and how they train, thinking, well, that must be how it's done, when they might be a complete novice and have poor technique, poor form, not moving properly, but aesthetically, they're quite good to look at.
yeah,
But performance-wise, they're nowhere near what they could actually be. So, yeah, the whole process of giving people insight into how to train for them specifically is really important, I think.
yeah. Because most, well, not most, but I see some guys in the gym. They copy one guy who's got a very good physique, Yeah, because come down with me, work out with me. So this guy's got very nice big tone, whatever muscle they got. So for the new guy to come in, what workout the other guy is doing, the other guy with the with a nice physique will pass on what he's doing to the other guy.
Yeah.
It's a total like a copycat workout, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be doing the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And then uh unfortunately this new one will end up getting hurt in the process
Yeah.
because they're
And
not
losing
really.
all faith in the gym because they've had a bad experience with it. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of people out there that have said, "Oh, the gym isn't for me," because their whole first step with the gym has been completely wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem that you've got to look at it in terms of strength and conditioning as well. In the fact that everyone has kind of like you could have two 25-year-olds go into a gym. The 25-year-old has been there since the age of 18. So already has 7 years of training,
Yeah.
where the other 25-year-old has had none.
Mhm.
So in terms of training age, you now have one 25-year-old with 7 years of training and understanding and developing that strength and that
Yeah.
conditioning. And then the other 25-year-old is a complete beginner. You
True.
can't
True.
teach them the same thing and make them do the same thing because
Yeah.
they're different.
Yeah. That's
So,
that's a very big aspect.
yeah,
Yeah. And age also, I think with the age, you've got those like for example, you've got the same thing, 25, both 25. And the issue is this guy is what I call the one copying this guy's workout with
yeah,
no good fundamental introduction to those
yeah,
exercises. Yeah.
yeah,
So they'll copy when nobody's watching, they'll do what the other guy is watching.
yeah. And
So
it's an indication that you think is right in your head as well. So even if you're watching and you think you're replicating and copying the same way, you might not have the straight back. You might not have the breathing technique because you're not looking for those things. You're
yeah,
just literally looking at how the bar or the weight moves. So I think a lot gets lost in, I think coaching is such a valuable thing because you're able to pick up on the little details that cumulatively make up such a big difference for people. So, when you're able to point out, this is how you breathe, this is how you set up before you even move. And for a lot of people, going straight to weightlifting isn't actually the way forward. You have to help them with movement pattern first. So teaching someone how to do a body weight squat, how to do a press up, how to do a lunge, how to jump up and down, all these things have to be foundational, like you say. Build the foundation and then move forward from there. I think that's crucial for what a lot of people are missing out as well.
yeah. I saw a guy one time when I was working out in the gym. I was because I do a lot of compound exercises.
Yeah, good.
I saw another guy. He's doing back squats, but he was struggling to do the back squat because he tends to go tippy toe when he's doing the actual movement. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I said, I think the bar is kind of heavy for you, mate. So you have to,
yeah,
or take the weights off and all that, and practice.
yeah.
That's what you said. The
Go.
practice the actual movement first, the body weight squat.
Yeah. I mean,
So
there's so
if
many different ways in which you can regress and, kind of like progress and exercise. So being able to master what your body can do first and foremost without any weights is the base. As soon as you've got that, then yeah, let's start looking at lifting the heavy thing off the floor. But you have to maintain all those principles that you take from the body weight stuff.
yeah,
So, for example, going up on the tippy toes. I mean, this is what scares me sometimes. Like when you see on social media again, where they throw something out there like 30-day squat challenge,
yeah,
and day one they don't know how to squat. So by day 4, day 5, their knees are killing them. They're wondering why their back feels so bad. You think,
oh
tell
god,
me what squat looks like, and it's
yeah,
heels off the ground, knees shooting forward, out to the sides, and you're like I know what's wrong.
uh,
But this is where people think, and people that suffer with not getting results are usually the ones that kind of cherry pick all these different things and put them together in their own program, and then find that their body is sore, not recovering, it's getting injured. and they're not getting the results. So yeah, I think that must be terrifying to watch as a coach for yourself, where you
It
see a
is,
guy
yeah.
doing
You know.
that. You've got to jump in and save him, man.
Yeah, because like I was doing my workout. I was like, oh, sorry, my language, but anyway, like,
True.
and man, you have to like I have to say something, like I can't just watch this guy because he's gonna hurt himself. Well, this would be the last time I'll see this guy in this gym.
Yeah, he'll be out for a long time. But
Yeah,
yeah, there's a way that you can adapt that straight away just by getting him to stick a set of weight plates underneath his heels as
yeah,
well,
you
teaching
know,
that drive through the heels. A
yeah, I know,
simple thing, a simple tweak that can make
yeah,
a massive difference to his workout.
I know,
And
yeah,
yeah, you need to check his ego and take a few plates off as well.
yeah. There's a few plates off, like that.
Yeah,
I think the issue is when they go to the gym with their mates.
yeah,
That's the I think it's just a male. I know alpha
yeah.
guy. I'm the
It is.
alpha guy. I can lift heavier than you. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's still common. It's male ego. So
yeah,
I think as soon as you can get rid of that,
yeah.
then you'll have a better way of progressing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think where a lot of the time I've never really thought about it much myself until I'd gone through the training process myself. So, for example, when I was going to a gym, I was doing bench press, for example, and I'd hit 120 kilos max lift for reps, and I was thinking, I'm doing well now, I'm strong, and then I couldn't get to that one kind of 22.5
Yeah.
because even just that 2.5 kilo jump was still too far for me. So then putting on like 0.25 on each end, so just half a kilo with the micro plates.
You don't want
Again,
it, yeah.
I didn't want to do it, but that's what broke that glass ceiling for me.
No, yeah,
So again, check your ego. If
yeah.
you're lifting with the lads and you think, yeah, just stick another 2.5 on,
Mhm.
nah, just
Uh,
saying, right, yeah, I know where I'm at. Let's go for a little bit more.
Yeah. I think some like when I'm doing my strong lifts, because I reach like sometimes you'll reach a plateau, I can't move
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah. So knowing that I have to go back down so I can go back
yeah,
up. So that's
yeah,
another technique that I've learned. So I have to take the weights off and build it up again. And
yeah,
then after a couple of weeks, I've actually hit more than my max that I was
yeah.
doing like 3 weeks ago. But that's taking off weight.
Yeah, that's a major, major thing though, because
Yeah.
you're then training for purpose again,
Hmm.
not just training for the sake of it. You know you can hit those numbers.
Yeah.
So to try and keep it there and trying to push through,
Hmm.
you can then change completely by regressing the weight. So the
Yeah.
volume of training and the intensity of the training deloads a little bit. So that's where
Yeah.
periodization training comes in,
Yeah.
where you
The
have
deloading.
build up, step back,
Yeah.
build up, go further, step back, build up again, build up again. So you've got that super compensation, it's called, where in a periodized training program within strength and conditioning, that's where the real kind of science comes into it of how to develop the body and then recover the body so the results actually get to bed in. And
Yeah.
then you
It's
again.
the body's amazing in doing that. Sometimes we underestimate what we can do because we're
Yeah.
so impatient.
Big
And then
time.
and then you stop. Yeah. You stop. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Like so you're talking about the 30-day squat challenge.
Yeah.
Previously, before that came out, I did the 25 push-up challenge for the mental
Yeah.
health thing. Yeah, that's another thing as well. People were doing their press-ups in the wrong form.
Yeah. And there was
They're
video evidence everywhere to watch it.
everywhere, and then I have a friend that I message because I want him to be able to do it properly. So he did listen.
Yeah.
So I'm quite glad he listened. And then he changed his total form of press ups. And then he said he felt stronger. He finished it. Now he's still doing his press up very good. Form is
Good.
there. And others, they're using just pure strength, when you're using just the arms, not
Yeah.
the core, nothing, anything. So it's just like,
Yeah.
and then halfway through the press up, they're stopped because their back aches,
Yeah.
shoulder
Yeah.
hurts, and all that.
Elbow or
Elbow,
definitely
yeah.
rotator cuff
This one,
damage.
yeah, because they're too
Yeah.
wide, too wide. It's like it's not
Elbows.
you're yeah, like that. It's
Yeah.
like you're not doing a bench press, like you're trying to
Yeah.
keep that
Totally
load
different move.
it is those different movements. That's what you said. So
Yeah,
anyway, that's the same thing as the squat thing. If you don't get your form
yeah,
properly, so it's just
yeah.
uh,
Form and technique over.
yeah, and they don't want to do the basically what I call like CC squats or CC push up. Like go on the wall first. Yeah, do the wall,
Yeah.
go on your knees. As long as it's proper.
Yeah, progress it down,
Yeah.
and then get your points of contact with the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then before you know it, that's what makes progress so much. The whole kind of slower is faster kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You do the slower stuff, the boring stuff.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. It doesn't look good. It's not something you want to talk about. Something else saying, "Oh yeah, I've been doing my training and I'm doing press ups on my knees." Nobody wants to say that out loud. But then in a few weeks' time, they're doing full press ups, perfect technique,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting the benefits from it. So I don't know. Again, like you say, it's the association people have in their head, especially when you've got a group of guys training together.
Yeah.
I mean, if you imagine we all said, right, we're all going to do 10 press ups together. They all drop down, and one guy drops down onto his knees, perfect technique, and they all look at him thinking, what are you doing with your knees on the floor?
Yeah.
But he's getting fuller range of motion. He's keeping his arms in tighter. He's keeping the control.
Yeah.
He's getting the benefit. But he gets made to feel bad about it.
Yeah. No, so he end up doing what everybody does with a bad.
You just conform. Yeah.
Yeah, you tend to
That's
conform.
That's not a training partner. That's not a training buddy. That's just a training group that doesn't get you anywhere. A partner is someone who understands that you've got different strengths and weaknesses. So you might have a guy you go and train with that is amazing at the deadlift, and you aspire to be like him. But that doesn't mean you have to try and lift what he does. You just learn what he's done that's got him to that point. And then you might be much better in terms of like a sprint on the rowing machine. So one of you's a little bit more cardio, the other one's a little bit more lift. But you then push each other in those areas and bring the other one on. So I think using your gym partner is really important. You got to get it right.
And a lot of it is also you need to take into consideration your mobility in the actual thing. Because I've got poor mobility in my hips and all that. So, but I'm still working what I can do. So if you know what your weaknesses are, then you can work on it, and then just work on what you can actually do.
Yeah, and a lot of people like working on their weaknesses, though.
I know.
When they go to the gym, they like to look and feel good. So they think, "Oh, I'm great at doing, bicep curls. So I'm just going to do bicep curls."
Yeah.
Oh, but what about your triceps? That's the other part of the arm that you want to develop. Oh, I don't like burning out my triceps. It hurts too much. I don't like it. Well, don't just pick what you like and what you want to do. Make it a well-rounded program. So mobility is a key part to that. And there's a guy that I know, a guy called Alan Cosgrove out in America, and he's got a fantastic setup whereby his gym is almost laid out in a manner that makes you do the mobility stuff first.
Okay.
So it kind of creates a journey around the gym, if you will, that says, you will do your foam rolling, your self-myofascial release, you'll do a little bit of, core engagement, then you'll start doing the cardio stuff and mobility stuff, and you got sticks and stretch bands everywhere, just to try and get people to focus on that element of training before they even get into the main area of the gym. And that, I think that's, creating the right mindset for people in the sense of, you can write a perfect program for someone, but unless they actually follow it, they're not going to do very well at all. So that's where the kind of coaching comes into play, where you can do one-to-one with people, where you can watch them and you can observe them and you can give them the feedback there and then. But on paper or on an app, you can look at it. Okay, I'll skip that bit because I'm pushed for time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably be better off doing the mobility stuff on its own and then going, not doing the weights, hurting themselves and then going.
I think the important thing is people, they find, I have no time to do it in the gym, but they can actually do all of that before going to the gym.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I've got around to doing quite well with my kind of like personal training clients, because obviously I want to try and maximize my usage of time as well. So time management has been something I've been working on a lot recently. And I've said to people, right, the warm-up process,
do it.
You know how to do, don't you? And they're like, yeah, I know how to do this. And I said, right, You do that before you get to me, or you do it in the gym whilst I'm training someone else,
Mhm.
and then I'll transition to you for the stuff that's going to be coached.
Yeah.
And it's kind of saved everyone a lot of time, and it empowers them as well, because as a coach, you don't want to, especially from a personal training perspective, you don't want to keep them as a PT client forever.
I
You
know.
actually
Yeah.
want to help them do it on their own and move on.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're parenting them. You've got to try and go through those tough few years of getting them to being an adult, and then they
Yeah.
do it themselves. There when they need you after that. But I want to give them the kind of the knowledge, the confidence, and the ability to do all that stuff without me being there. That's the key as a coach, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I have a friend from the Philippines. I've been doing like online coaching with him. So
Mm,
I told him, I'll teach you on what you need for what you're actually doing, because he's into running. So
yeah,
the problem with some of the runners back home, uh, this old style mentality of training. If you want to run, to be a good runner, what's the best advice? Run.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you want, so that's not that's not coaching
That
thing.
be the key to strength and conditioning right there.
Yeah.
It's removing them from their main body of exercise and performance,
Mhm.
and giving them all the other little bit of kind of like cogs that work in the big machine that
Yeah.
make you a better runner. So if you want to do speed work, or if you want to do stamina work, if you want to do lactate threshold work and
Mhm.
things like that, you can do it in different ways. So you can do slow twitch muscle fiber activity, and then faster twitch muscle activity
Yeah.
as well, depending what distance events that they're
Mhm.
running. Um, and then you can do it in a format that doesn't take away from their overall kind of times that they're
Yeah.
hitting events. You want to maximize it, because I mean, any kind of training is in danger of overuse and stress injury, where you're
Yeah.
using the same system and the same joint or the same muscle so much all the time. You need that step away a little bit now and again, just to let it breathe and recover.
True. True.
If you're constantly running, oh,
That's
dangerous, man. Dangerous.
yeah. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, that's why your hips are so bad.
I've learned that the hard way. Anyway, so this is what I
Yeah,
was saying to my friend. So he was doing it. So he's been running, and then they have this idea of, okay, after you run, you carbo load. So and he wanted to lose weight. So he's not getting what he's wanting from it. He's
yeah,
running long distance, basically eating long distance as well. So if you know what I mean. So he's not going to lose anything. So there's no calorie deficit in that one. So he's not going to get
yeah,
anywhere. And then he said he gets tired and achy back and all that. So I think your issue is you got a poor core. Because if you're
yeah,
running and you're achy lower back and get stitches, so you got poor core, and then
yeah,
that's your issue there. So once he started, I gave him some workout to get stronger in the core and all that. Running went fine, and he's getting
yeah,
faster. And he
yeah.
said, "Oh, I can run completely now with no aches." Like, yeah, there you go. That's the issue. It's your issue. So
Yeah,
it's
that's a good way of looking at it as well. Is in terms of most human beings who are born able-bodied can develop into a run.
mhm.
It's a natural human movement pattern. Well, how well you are able to do it is very much dependent on coordination, neuromuscular kind of connection, and again the core. So if you're just running and you're not then developing the core to develop the running style and the running kind of load that you're putting on the body, it does give you early warnings like backache and knee ache and
Mm.
strains in the body, because that's your body telling you that you're
S-
doing something that we're trying to adapt to, but you're not letting us over time.
yeah,
So we're going to keep giving you the niggle until we're going to make it a full injury if you're not careful.
yeah,
So
I
taking
know.
that time to step out, and again, the periodized approach to training.
Mhm.
You've got some weeks where you deload the runs. So if you were a 10K runner, for example, you wouldn't be running 10Ks. You'd be running
No,
fives, doing
yeah,
speed twos and threes. And then you'd have one day where you just foam rolled, ironed out
yep.
all the creases in the body, and then did some core work.
Hmm. True, yeah.
And all good to go again.
Yeah. I think people are so scared. That's what you said, like, oh, I want to be a 10K runner, so I'll keep on running 10K.
Yeah,
Like keep on running 10K. They don't like and they don't like those the workout that goes with it, a lot of body weight exercises that you can do for running.
definitely.
Yeah, a lot of that one. So strength, I think, as what you said, is still a key component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental. It has to be involved in every aspect. And I think to develop kind of like an overall foundational strength is actually where people should start. And then if they're wanting to become much stronger, then the workouts start to change again. So the way you prescribe a workout to someone is very much based on, like, people that associate running with weight loss.
Mhm.
It does make sense because a lot of the time you tend to eat a lot of the muscle away, depending on whether you're doing long distance or mid
Yeah.
distance or short distance. You stand a sprinter next to a marathon runner. Both are runners,
Yes.
but very different physical shape.
Yes, that's a very
And then
yeah.
you've got to choose, well, which physique do I actually want to go with?
Mhm.
It turns out you don't need to do long distance running to look great,
Yep.
So
Yes.
again, it goes back to the initial point you made. What do you actually want?
Yes. What's your goal? Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. I think, sorry, I'm going to digress a bit. People are getting confused about the weight loss and the fat loss. So they get confused at that.
It's very tricky, mate.
It is.
Weight
Yeah.
loss in comparison to fat loss is quite easy. Fat loss is where it's what actually most of the time when people say I want to lose weight,
Yeah.
they want to lose fat.
Yeah.
That's the key because
Mm.
when you get them training properly and eating properly, their weight might not change a vast amount, but their body shape changes
Changes.
completely.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to get that message through to people because I mean, you've got companies out there that have certain names that make you think only about weight. And then they make you feel as though you're not achieving anything because you haven't lost weight that week.
Yes. The number doesn't reflect.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on what they've done training wise, what they've eaten that day, and even going down to the kind of like the way the human body works, especially for women, for example, are they at a particular point in their cycle? Have they had a carb loading day the day before, so there's more water retention, or have they just not been to the toilet for a day or two?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's still a lot of digested and undigested food in the tract kind of thing that's ready to come out. So it's hard, weighing yourself on a weekly basis, I think can give you a lot of misleading information,
Yes.
especially if the only means of assessment you have is what that number tells you on
Wait.
the
Yeah.
scale.
It's just that
Yeah.
people are, I think, but they are so, what I call the one, so fixated on the numbers that shows on
Yeah.
the weighing
Yeah.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they, because,
It's the way the kind of like the diet industry and the fitness industry, they kind of make that a problem for themselves by constantly pushing that. There's a lot of products out there that are all about weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, and people get swept up with the fact that, oh, I've not lost weight this week, I'm not doing well. And yet they could have lost some body fat and put on a little bit of lean
muscle.
muscle.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they don't associate it with what is changing in their body. So there was an example I used with a girl the other day. I was saying to her that imagine, it's probably not that flattering a comparison actually when I think about it, but I said, imagine your pillowcase and you're stuffed with feathers. And that's the fat that makes it kind of fluffy and, not in the best shape. I said, but there's a few pebbles in there, which is your muscle. And I said, as you build muscle, you add a few pebbles in. And it might only be a couple of pebbles, but you could take a big handful of the feathers out and the weight of the pillowcase stays the same.
Stay the same. Yeah.
But the fat is getting less and the pebbles are now shaping what is the pillowcase. And she kind of got her head around it then because she was saying, oh, but I have lost fat then. I said, yes, you've lost fat, but you have not lost weight.
Mhm.
And it was that message that was so hard to
Yeah.
get to click in her head. But eventually she was like, that makes more sense now. She said, because I've given up on diets before and exercise because for the first 3 weeks, my body didn't lose weight. And I said, well, now you know that's exactly what's happened in your body. Your body was responding to the new way you were doing things. Weight loss is, tricky game, tricky.
It is, yeah. People give up too easily, as far as I can gather. They do a program, they don't see any result in the first month, they'll give up.
Yeah,
Yeah, they give up straight
yeah,
away.
it's a strange one because you think, it's taken you a few years to get into the condition you're in now,
Yeah,
and you expect 1 month of training to change your
yeah.
stars. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no,
People,
it's
the
it's
culture is wrong.
it
Everyone
is
wants it now.
now. It's a total change of lifestyle if you want to
Yeah.
get somewhere. So especially on that aspect, if they're looking into the fat loss, well, just look into the fat loss. Weight loss will come anyway when you
Yeah,
target fat loss. But if you
yeah,
target weight loss, you, as what you said, you might be just losing water, muscle, and all
yeah.
that.
Even people that haven't trained for a long time, again, unfortunately, especially women, when they get to a certain age, bone density starts to change quite quickly as well. So if there's things like history of osteoporosis in the family and things like that, they can offset that kind of bone kind of malfunction by
Yeah,
doing weightlifting and things like that. So it the message is lost a lot because there's so much noise out there that you're trying to kind of compete with. It's
yeah,
getting that, because nobody wants to hear that it involves hard work, patience, and consistency.
yeah,
Like, oh, can I not just do this? And it's like, no.
yeah,
If you want to just do it for a short-term fix, go for it. Be
yeah,
happy with that, but don't expect it to change your life because, as you say, it is a lifestyle choice.
yeah. And people need to really build up a discipline, a habit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Somebody asked me, "Oh, PJ, can you help me with blah blah blah? I want to do this and do that. I want to lose weight. I want to whatever." And I said, "Okay, what exercise will you prescribe to me? Just do walking first."
yeah,
They don't like to hear that.
no. It's one of the best places to start.
Yeah.
That's why I do love the fact that things like the iWatch and Fitbit and things like that have come out to help people
Mhm.
be more mindful of how many steps they take in a day. Aim for that 10,000 as a minimum. You've got people that are taking 4,000, 5,000 in a day, and they're saying, "What exercise should I be doing?" It's like,
Yeah.
double that walk,
Yeah. Just move
double the
that
amount of
body.
steps a day, move more. Yeah,
Move.
get
Just
that
move.
first.
Yeah.
And
So
then that becomes an important part of recovery as well. Like people that get really into their training
yeah.
and they want to do 5, 6, 7 days a week. And you're like, okay, we'll make one of those sessions just a walk. And they're like, what?
Yeah. No.
Just a walk? And you're like, yeah, just a walk. I said, you have no idea how good that is for your circulation, your recovery, your mindset.
Yeah.
Listen to some podcasts, listen to an audio book, or just listen to some great tunes and get outdoors.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Don't understand how good that is for a well-rounded training program.
Yeah.
It's not just about going in and clattering the weights or running and rowing away.
Yeah.
Take time for yourself.
I think people need to be re-educated about how to approach their training, their workouts, because people are, when they look at the social media, they look at the internet, buy some health workout magazine and all that, they see a lot of these complicated circuit workouts. So
Yeah,
they think if they want to be fit, to look at the person who's doing the work, the exercises, oh, I want to
yeah,
look like her. Oh,
yeah.
these are the exercises that she does. They
And they
think
think that that's all she does.
it's all she does. Yeah.
Yeah. That afternoon, she was back in the gym doing weights as well.
Hmm.
But you don't see that bit. You just see the
Yeah.
one little workout that she wants to give to you that is maybe for free, that then puts you on another program with her where she earns her money, which is one
Yeah.
way of doing it. But if
Hmm.
that person is then sat at home just following that workout, thinking that's the way to go,
Hmm.
it doesn't give them the return that they're hoping for.
No, I mean, that's why you said, for example, like a CrossFitter, they do
Yeah,
certain workout. I'm not a CrossFitter, but I just saw what they were doing. Like I saw
yeah,
somebody in YouTube. They don't just do a circuit workout. There's the Metcon. in the morning they go for a walk, but that's
Yeah.
people doesn't cluster that as a workout. Yeah,
No, you
they're going
don't
for a
see
walk.
how all fits together. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
There's more
walking
than
their dog.
just, yeah, there's more than just that one, hour or hour and a half or whatever it is, or 45 minutes of training that you do. There are other mini workouts throughout
Yeah,
that over the course of the
yeah.
day or the week that all build in.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think, yeah, the bits you see are the glamorous bits.
It is. Yeah,
The bits that look sexy, look, high
mm.
intensity, oh, that looks really good. I want to do that. And then you see them lying down on the floor doing a few stretches. You don't see those
You
bits.
don't. You don't see
That's
that.
not the
Yeah.
important bit. That's not the bit that sells.
Now.
That's not what makes it so interesting, compelling to watch.
Yeah.
But it's all there. That's how they're doing so well at what they do.
Yeah. And then they don't even show that they're doing their swimming workout, their cycling workout, what you
I
see
mean,
is
that's
those.
a perfect example of strength and conditioning, though. They're
Yeah.
doing so many different aspects. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't coach CrossFit because I'm not a CrossFit qualified instructor or I haven't done their courses. But I was doing very similar in essence to what they were doing before. That type of training, I think, was really important. That's what
This.
strength and conditioning is. So I think CrossFit has helped revolutionize the fitness industry a little bit in terms of giving it a bit more glamour. Of it's
Mhm.
not just about trying to do, the bodybuilding stuff, which wasn't actually that effective for people unless they wanted to be bodybuilders.
Yes. Yeah.
So now you have to be able to lift the heavy weight off the floor, like the deadlift, the kettlebell clean and press,
Yeah.
but then get your ass on an assault bike, and burn out for, 60
Yeah.
seconds, see how well you do there. And a lot of bodybuilders, they'd fall off the thing dying,
Oh yes.
So
Oh
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
that's where the conditioning comes in. To build a more healthful body, you have to look at doing different elements and finding that balance all the way through.
That's that's more of your muscle endurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying bodybuilders don't have it, but I don't think they're mainly focusing on the muscle
Yeah.
endurance now.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on what your purpose. I mean, if you're really into bodybuilding, yeah, just crack on
Yeah.
and then just do what
Yeah.
you're doing. You're doing fine. But if you want to be a well-rounded athlete,
Yeah.
then the approach is different.
Yeah, I think the kind of approach that we've got and the approach that CrossFit have is to try and develop bodies that are capable across so many different formats. It's important that you're able to, function and move. I think a lot was lost on the whole idea of, functional training when that came out and people were saying, you've got to do functional training. If the training that you're not doing is not functional in the first place, you're already training wrong. You're already doing something that's actually going to limit your body in some way. It's the same way as nutrition can limit you in terms of how it helps your body. So, for example, for those who are on keto,
Mhm.
they are limiting and restricting what their body is capable of for a different end goal. But then if they're not able to sustain that for the rest of their lives, what is it they're trying to do? You should be looking for that longer term plan.
Yes, yeah, true.
And I think
Yeah,
that's where strength and conditioning and CrossFit kind of programs and things like that, that's thinking about, giving a competitive element for the people that want to be competitive. That's where CrossFit fills that gap perfectly.
mhm,
And then
yeah,
what we do within our training is make it less competitive, have that element there for people that want it, like we have a PB board and stuff like that. So
yeah,
if people want to challenge themselves, it's there.
yeah.
But the onus is much more on how are you developing your body right now? How does it feel?
Yes,
What are you
yes,
doing to feed it, fuel it? What are you doing for the recovery? Is your sleep good? Are your relationships at home good? Is your life going well? And all these other things have to come into play to make everything, again, balanced.
yeah. Because you have to really look into how good your mental well-being, because the rest
Oh,
will just crumble if you don't look
yeah,
after that. Yeah,
yeah. Mindset matters most.
it is. Yeah, because if
Get that
you're,
bit right, a lot can be done.
yeah, get your head right, and then you are
Yeah.
just
The
on.
body will follow.
It will follow no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as your approach in your body track PT, you cater your programming as per clients' needs, wants, or do you tell them what they need? Well, how do you approach it?
It's very much again, it's about a partnership, because I
Yeah.
think as the coach you have to be able to guide the kind of motivations and desires of the person that comes to you. But the thing is, they've also come to you for your knowledge as well.
Mhm.
They've got to that point where they've tried so many different things that they're now saying, I give me to you to fix,
Okay.
because there's things that I'm not getting right. And that's quite a humbling thing to be given by a person, where they say, I now
Yes.
trust you. So please fix this. And you're kind of like, okay, well, we have to work together.
Mhm.
We have to come to an agreement. I can't give you everything right now without giving you the habits and the changes and all the mindset stuff that comes with it, because otherwise you're going to reject it like you have everything else. So I think the induction process and the consultation process is very important, because I will spend an hour in the consultation with people where we just talk about what their goals are, what their habits are, what they do well now, what can be changed. But it's getting them to acknowledge that those things need to change as well. It's not me telling them, it's me asking a question of, well, do you think that helps you get to where you want to be? And that self-realization of them going, well, no, that's one thing that stops me, is quite a powerful thing for them to say, because they're admitting that that is an issue.
Yeah.
So I think as part of the programming and the consultation, it's very much a case of, I will tell you what to do, but you have to get to the point where you accept it has to be done yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good process. I do love it, because each person is different. And sometimes the same person that you're training comes in a different version of them on a different given day. If they've had a tough day at work, or they've had a hard time with the kids, or, something hasn't gone well for them that day, they come through the door a different version of what you might have had 2 days earlier, where everything was going well, their energy was pumped, they were, wanting to hit the workout hard. So I think as a coach, you have to be able to adapt little bits here and there, depending on the version of the person you get in front of you on the day.
True. Yeah. Think it should be catered according to what their needs, rather than here I got a piece of paper here. I've given this workout to. Oh, I think this workout will work for you. Like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this workout will work out for you. I think this will work for you. Yeah, you can do this, and then
Yeah.
oh, so it's what they want, what they need, and what they are willing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it. You can, like I say earlier, you can give them the best program, the best nutrition plan, but unless they do the work, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think people realize, that's what they're paying for, the opportunity to do the work.
Yes.
Because I could write a program for someone that has a certain set of goals, and you could write a slightly different program with the same principles but slightly different methods, but we're getting the person to the same point. We're
True.
just
Yeah.
using slightly different methods of getting
Yeah.
them there.
Mhm.
So I think, you know a lot of people, when it comes to I've been to this coach and this is what he did, I know this works, you think, well, okay, but now you're with me
Mhm.
and we're going to do the same principles which are important, but I've got a different method I want you to try.
Yeah.
And it gives people a lot more broad spoke spectrum for learning new things and trying new things, because boredom in a gym is something you definitely don't want. So to be able to have the knowledge to switch things up and change a person's workout
Yeah.
is really important for the longevity of the program as well. I think you hear when some people might have come to you before where they say, oh, I've been to the gym, and you're like, it's good, what did you do? And they say, right, I went in, I got on the treadmill, I did 20 minutes. Then I got off the treadmill, I got on the cross trainer, I did half an hour.
Yeah.
And then I got off that and I did the push one, the pull one, the leg one, and then I did some crunches and some planks, and then I left. And you're like, that's your workout? And they're like, yeah. I said, and what did you do the next day? The same thing. It's like, oh, no, this is where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
I think yeah, going through the motions and doing the same stuff all the time is killing people's love of the gym. So again, CrossFit has got great variation in their programming. So that
Yes.
keeps people really interested and focused on the next challenge and how to adapt and develop what they're doing. So yeah, that is a crucial part of the coaching.
This, yeah, it's so important. Again, I think there's you're only fit on what you're training for. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
I might be fit for running, but doesn't mean I'm fit for swimming.
mate. If you look at the way that I went to, I think it was Salford Keys, and they had the velodrome there, and the cyclists were training there, and they weren't allowed to get off their bikes. So when they were going from the velodrome to lunch, they would cycle to their lunch hall, get off the bike, sit down, eat, drink, go to the toilet, get back on the bike, cycle. So they are built for cycling.
Yeah,
If you then said, right, run 100 meters, they're rubbish.
yeah,
You know, you say run 5K, they're not very good. They're fit, strong people,
yeah,
but they're not as comfortable when it comes to something that removes them from
yeah,
their sport. So, yeah, if you're training for one sport and you're wanting to excel in it, give yourself to that sport and go for it. Strength and conditioning is very finite. It's very honed in on what you're
yeah,
trying to do. So whether it's plyometric based or whether it's movement pattern based, strength specific for that movement pattern, that doesn't develop necessarily the best kind of physique or body that you think you want in your head,
yeah, yeah.
because your body adapts to the sport demand,
Mm-hmm.
not the aesthetic or the vision you have of the way you want to look. So again, comes back down to what are your goals? What are you
Yes.
prepared to do?
And then your body tends to adapt to have like a muscle memory on certain pattern.
Yeah,
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 certain pattern. I mean, because
definitely.
when I was young, I'm into tennis, so I'm playing a lot of tennis when I was young. So my lateral movement are quite good.
Yeah.
So I'm quick in my feet during lateral movements and all that. So when I played basketball, the guys from the
Perfect. That's
basketball were
what
saying like,
you know.
how the hell can sorry language, I was going from side to side, sorry people, I was going from side to side as quick as everybody,
Yeah,
and then wondering how am I doing it. So
yeah.
I think
Movement pattern,
it's my
repetition.
movement pattern, yeah, because I
Yeah,
was doing tennis since I was young, and that's just how my body reacts to things. So I'm quicker with my feet without even thinking about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is again, you know, that's where you get the crossover between why sports people who do a lot of different sports tend to, you know, have that crossover of, you know, a decent element. But if they were to say, right, you know, I'm going to commit to one, that's where the training pulls you back in, you know, towards doing lateral movement and that more focused and everything. And then you would train differently for that as well. So you'd be like the stretch bands and you'd be doing side lunges and then
yeah,
jumps to the side, you know, ballistic based stuff just to make that work better for you. But then it changes then your focus on the other sport you were good at as well. So I
yeah,
think when you're assessing like junior athletes, you know, when you're looking at kids and the way they
yes,
train, they're like a fresh whiteboard. You know, they've got so much that they can do that you then have to then say, well, what are your interests? I mean, it's easy for me to say because I'm not a parent, but at the same time, I would hope that I would want my child's input in what they wanted to do and give them as much as they possibly could.
support, yeah.
Like I would like my child to learn a martial art, whereas Laura, my wife, for example, would like them to learn dance as well.
Dancing, yeah,
And you know, yeah, and you think, you know, for again, if it came down to an old school guy with a bit of ego, would say, "I'm not having my son dance," and
yeah,
it's like, well, why not? It's good physical development. It's fun. Let him do it. But it's how they associate certain sports and certain activities as being, well, that's not for you. Do them all.
well,
Do them all.
yeah, talking about that, because my mom, I got two girls, yeah, so they're all
Yeah.
trained in martial arts, boxing and all
Yeah.
that. And
Good.
my mom was telling me, why are you not sending them to dance school? They don't want to do dancing.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Exactly.
What can I do? You know,
Yeah.
they should be
You're doing right.
dancing,
You're doing right.
ballet. I can't force them. They don't want to do it. So
You know.
yeah, but now because they're teenagers, so obviously the interest shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I cannot. drag them to doing things. And I'm like, okay, if you don't want it, it's okay. But because they've been doing it at a younger age, so they already got the muscle memory for those
Yeah,
things.
they've got the
So
foundation, have the appreciation.
foundation, yeah,
When they go back to it, they're
it's
going to
just
be
there.
further ahead. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about, like the training age of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
If they go back to it in 5 years' time, they've still got 5 years of that type of training
Yeah.
already under their belt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great place for them to start. It's not like they're going into it brand new.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
gone back to tennis myself. I've stopped playing tennis for a while, years and years. So recently I went back playing tennis.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You haven't ridden one, and then just give it a couple of time, you'll get there. So it's
Yeah.
just the same thing. So I get the form is there, but it's just trying to do my fine tuning and all that. So
Yeah.
it's just because my body's comfortable to the movement. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting.
And that's a good thing to still have. Yeah.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
still
You'll
there.
rediscover, I think it was a strength and conditioning coach I was speaking to. He said there was like the three primary things that you'll go through as an athlete or someone that, semi-athlete, someone that just likes playing sport.
Mhm.
And he said, you've got your speed, your strength. Oh, it's four things: speed, strength, stamina, and skill. And he said, those four things, he said, they will vary in how much you have at one time. And he said, but you can directly influence all four. He said, but the one thing that will stay with you longer is the skill. He said, so if you're able to hit, a backhand cross-court shot,
Yeah,
you will find that movement pattern is still there.
still there.
You just have to refine it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you being able to make it to that shot to return it, it comes down to your strength, your speed, and your stamina.
Yeah,
They're the
getting
things
there.
you have to get back again,
Yeah.
then perform the skill. So I thought that was a fascinating concept about, it's why, you'll see in major sports, they'll focus on fitness pre-season more than anything to get the players fast, strong, and able to continue going. And then when it comes to the season, it's conditioning to keep them that fit, and then the skills to keep the skills as sharp as possible. So
Great.
it's important that, go, if people haven't, picked up a tennis racket or a golf club or a hockey stick or something for a long time, go get them out of the cupboard, go and enjoy it again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they just have to, start swinging that racket or that golf club.
Yeah.
It's already in them. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got that.
yeah, you already got that one, like
You've
badminton
got,
and all that. Because I think like all those racket games or hockey or golf, they're all like hand-eye coordination.
yeah.
If you got the hand-eye coordination already, you got it. Because I know there are people who they have very poor hand-eye coordination. When
Oh
you
yeah,
throw,
I enjoy training those people too.
when you just throw them the ball, they don't even know how
Yeah.
to catch the ball. They go all over the place. So I
Yeah.
guess it's a skill that you need to practice.
I'll give you an example of a transition to that straight away. Like netball or basketball players, and they're
Yes.
double-handed throw the ball. So
Yeah.
from chest straight out.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing wall ball the other day.
Yeah.
So I had the girls in doing their circuit session on Saturday, and they were doing the squat, drive, throw the ball up in the air,
Yeah.
cover and catch, squat again, go again.
So,
The girls that had played netball or kind of basketball
yeah.
before,
No
easy.
problem. Yeah.
The ones that hadn't would throw and then panic.
When it comes back, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know how to coordinate that catch action. So the cushion, the drive, throw and release, catch, recover, they couldn't get straight away.
Yeah.
So you had to talk them through it. You had to let them see it happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, skill set and muscle memory and hand-eye coordination, they're great things to have. So while you've got them, use them.
Yeah. Still keep
Get
on
out
using
there
that.
and get going again. You
Yeah.
might not be the best player out there, but you're playing. You're
It is,
doing
yeah.
what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just what you call them, really enjoyed that crossover, from fitness, from one sport to another, and especially when I was doing tennis, I'd really managed to use that footwork into basketball.
Yeah.
I managed to do that. But I'm not a good basketball player, but I can defend because of my footwork.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I imagine you being quite a nightmare to play against, actually.
so I can defend. So I'm all over the place, wherever
Yeah,
the guy is, I'll be there, I
yeah.
try to work
Annoying him, getting in
I'm
the way. Yeah,
that's my
exactly.
job. Yeah, that's my job. I
That's
know
playing
I
to your
poke.
strengths. Like if you ever look up a guy, Luka Hosovar, he's a brilliant basketball player, and then he pursued a professional career. He came from Slovenia, and he now runs his place called Vigor Ground. I recommend you have a look at that.
All
Some
right,
of the
okay.
stuff he does is amazing. Again, same kind of training principles and philosophies that we have, but he does it on a much bigger, grander scale because he is just brilliant at what he does. And he's a small guy. When you think of basketball players, you think 6 foot bigger.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
no.
then you've got you guys that are coming
Yeah.
in shorter that are still brilliant players because you know how to perform and leverage what you have
Yeah.
physically and talent wise as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, he drove himself a lot to be a competitive player. And it's those kind of things, where you say, well, I'm not going to be able to defend by getting my hand in his way,
Yeah.
but I'm going to get underneath his feet and around the ball that makes it so much harder for him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, play to your strengths, go for it.
That's what it is. Yeah. And I think a lot of sports is a lot mental game plays a
Yeah,
big aspect in sports.
yeah,
Yeah. Because you see a lot of those athletes, they perform very well in training.
yeah.
Yes, they're
And
very
then
good.
don't let
On
it
the
come
actual
to the
game,
pitch, the court. Yeah,
they're like, did you actually train? If you know
yeah.
what I mean, did you actually?
Know exactly how to deliver
Yeah.
that ball. Know
What's
exactly how
happening?
to do that.
Because a lot of mental aspect is not
Mindset matters.
matured. Yeah,
Yeah,
not matured enough for the actual
yeah.
game. So
You can become overwhelmed by game day, where you overthink it and you get too riled up by it and things like that. So it's interesting, you get some people that have got pump up music going on in their head, to get them in the zone, get focused. And then you've got other people who should perhaps play more relaxing music,
yeah.
something that takes them away from the game to begin with. So when they go into training, they just do training. So to go into the game, they just do the game, without
Yeah.
getting too overwhelmed by it to begin with.
Yeah. So when I used to coach a basketball team, the Rams here on the island,
Yeah,
Filipino basketball team, my guys, they play well if they relax. So
yeah,
what I mean by relax is they're just having fun.
yeah,
Yeah. So I just told them, you need to have fun. You know, it's a sport, it's a game that you like to play. Enjoy
yeah,
it, have fun. Yeah.
yeah,
And then they perform very well when they're having fun. They're
yeah.
laughing,
Expression. Yeah,
yeah, because their pressure is off. They're like, come on, have fun. If you don't have fun, then they're all tense up. They don't move very well.
yeah,
They start overthinking.
yeah. And I think especially in a team sport, when you get to that point where you're overthinking it and not enjoying it and not there, focused on the bits that you need to be, you then start to overcompensate and try and do more yourself rather
Yeah.
than remember the other team is around you as well.
Hmm.
So you can then start saying, well, I'm going to fix this game. I'm going to drive, for the
Yeah.
line net. And then you lose the ball. And you think, if you'd given the pass that the guy was
Yeah.
open for, you'd have been further on.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we did a thing when I was at uni where we were doing about, sports psychology in terms of over arousal. So kind of like overstimulated in your head and in your body. So physiologically and psychologically, you were kind of burning out before the game had even had
Yeah.
the first whistle.
Before the
You
actual
know,
game. Yeah.
yeah, people were just too wired, so they were already going into the game fatigued
Hmm.
mentally and physically, and then still putting the pressure on themselves because they were overstimulated to perform. So, like you say, the more relaxed you are, the more you can. I mean, look at Usain Bolt before he runs 100 meters.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know, fist bumping the kit boy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He's relaxed, and that's when he
Yes.
performs at his best. He's
Yes.
in his own happy place.
Yes.
So, regardless of what level of sport you're trying to play, if you can get to that level of comfort in your own head, you're
Then
miles ahead of your opponent already.
it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's such a game changer.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It can be the difference between a win or a loss, or even when you lose, saying at least we did well.
That's another thing, losing, knowing that you've done everything,
Everything, yeah.
and then coming out with a big smile in your face, even though you're
Yeah.
losing, is very confusing for your opponent.
Very, yeah. It's
Like,
going to play with their minds more than
like,
yours.
why are they laughing? Why are they so
Why are they all
happy?
high-fiving at the end of that?
Sir. I remember because I was telling the guys, we were losing playing basketball. I was telling my guys, okay, guys, our aim is to score 50 points. Then, the opponent was already 70, so we're losing.
Yeah.
Our goal is 50 points. And then
Yeah.
when we hit the 50-point mark, everybody say, yay!
Exactly.
And then the other person say,
Oh.
what's happening to these guys?
Yeah.
And I just told them guys, like, okay, I'm buying McDonald's. And they're all laughing. Yeah, they're all laughing. So it's having fun. So
that is crucial. That is what it's all about. When you're not obviously playing at elite level and you're just playing for the love and the passion of the game, you have to be able to set back and enjoy it like that.
it is,
And set like you adapted it right there and then within the game to give them a new target. Guys, the target is not winning. The target is now this. And they achieved it. So there's already that sense of accomplishment.
It is, yeah. It's
Perfect.
such a big, So
that's good coaching there, PJ. That's good coaching.
So I mean, I don't play. I don't have tall players and all that. So I said, hey, we're playing because we love the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, because you love the game. So
yeah.
Again, it's for the purpose that know what your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if my purpose was to actually win the basketball tournament, then I'm not gonna grab small players. I'm gonna start getting the big ones, big ones, the skilled ones. So I'm gonna actually do tryouts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do tryouts if I really want to win. I'm gonna do tryouts. I'll schedule tryouts and see players that can play and all that. But at the end of the day, if we're all paying to have fun, then okay, let's have fun. Don't forget that it's a fun aspect.
Yeah,
and
it's important, mate. It's like watching the football yesterday, because I'm a Liverpool fan, and there's probably some people switched off now. But watching the Liverpool Leeds game, and to see the champions of the Premier League last season to play the championship winners last year. So you've got the new boys coming in, and you've got the old boys who have been there for a while. And the game was phenomenal. I mean, it was 4-3 it finished.
Wow.
So it was like 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. And you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? But Leeds were clearly there to enjoy their day.
Yeah.
It was their first game back in the Premiership for what has been too long.
Wow.
And the players had a point to prove. They wanted to go out and say, we deserve to be here, but we're playing at Anfield. We're going to enjoy it as well. And you could see it on their faces. They were having a great game. And I hope that most of them obviously came off that pitch saying we couldn't have done any more, because we were playing Liverpool at Anfield.
Yes.
Home. The champions.
The home court. Yeah.
Exactly. And it does make a difference. And I think that's what got Liverpool through. They were lucky to win against a Leeds side that were clearly relaxed, enjoying their football, and glad to be back in the Premiership.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous team right there.
It is. I mean, especially if they're the guest team, to do that in a home court with a home court advantage, that's very,
It's going to be interesting.
So they're going to give you guys a run for your money.
It's going to be an interesting trip to Ellen Road. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Anyway,
that's where, you've got that competitiveness, because you're not overthinking and you're not overwhelmed. You might get a lot of other teams that go to Anfield and just crumble because of the place they're in.
Yeah.
If they're thinking too hard about the stuff, instead of looking at other stuff they can enjoy about the day. It's probably a very simple thing to say, because I've not been put in that position, but the psychology of it still remains the same. How you focus and how you distract and what you do to enjoy what you're doing comes through in your performance.
Yeah, I know it's very hard, because I remember when I was in my teenage, I think I was like 16, and I played a national tournament back in the Philippines. So I went up north and I played in this big stadium. registered myself and all that. So I played
Yeah.
there. But my main goal was to just participate and play there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I managed to get in and participate and played the game. I
That's cool.
lost. I lost, but my my goal was I'm glad I was able to play in this court.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have played here.
I
Yeah.
have played in that court. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's so daunting, walking into a tennis court that you don't know, that you've already read in papers. Okay. You
Yeah.
walk, oh, it's just like
But it's
Wimbledon. Yeah.
already has
Yeah.
power. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like walking to a Wimbledon stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose. I don't care. I'm
I don't
playing
care.
here. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
playing.
play.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
playing. So I don't care. So yeah, as long as I walked
The
in there.
mindset is so important because I mean, like again, going back to like schoolboy years and stuff. I remember playing for my school team in I was reserved for the first team playing on the pitch, and the second team that I was captain of were playing on another pitch. So they were playing against Ramsey Grammar School.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
lot of my old school friends were playing in that game. So we finished the first team game, and I ran across to the other side to see if the game was still on. And the coach at the time, the teacher, Mr. Fallon, Tony Fallon, who was a teacher that I admired quite a lot, he actually helped me a lot with formulating my own ideas about where I wanted to go with my health and fitness and my
Mm,
kind of goals as a potential professional.
yeah.
Um, and I asked him, I said, how are we going? He said, we're losing. I said, well, can me and a guy called Alan Chan, who was a Cantonese student that went to the same school, said, can we get on? Because we didn't play for the first team, so we're still eligible.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, go on. And he said, just enjoy it. Because we hadn't played rugby all that day.
Yeah.
So this is our chance. We went on the pitch. Alan scored the try. And then there was the conversion to be taken right out on the touchline by me. And because I had no understanding of what the score was or how the game had gone,
Mm,
it didn't bother me. So I just put the ball down and went through everything that I do to prepare for a kick.
yeah.
Kicked this ball, bang, off it went, hit the crossbar and went over.
Over.
So we got the points. And there was this almighty cheer from the sideline from people that were watching. And I thought, it was just a kick. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
he scored a try and he didn't get that much. But it turned out I tied the game. And
All
then the
right.
final whistle went. And all my old school friends from Ramsey just looked at me with death in their eyes. I'm not going to have a good weekend going back to Ramsey. But the thing is, because I was so relaxed, like we say, and I was just
Yeah.
enjoying playing rugby,
Mhm.
kicking that ball was just probably the sweetest kick. If I'd have known what the score had been,
So you
and
started.
known there was pressure, I don't think I'd have made that kick. I'd have probably hit an aeroplane. But that was
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed that day so much.
I think there's when you're talking about performance in sports,
Yeah,
a lot, as long as you physically prepared for it,
yeah,
then it will just what I call the one. It will just roll over on the actual day. Yeah,
yeah,
if you're trained for that, and the
yeah,
only thing that will stop you from performing will be this. Yeah,
yeah.
this
Every
will
time.
this will stop you from
Yeah.
performing.
I mean, that's it. It stops most people from doing most things.
Mhm.
If you think about the person that's thinking about joining a gym or thinking about starting on their health and fitness, they immediately create barriers in their head as to why they can't. Say, oh, I'm too old. Oh, I haven't done it for so long. It's going to be too hard. So the hardest thing for them is getting over that first hurdle in their head. Because once they turn up, they'll start doing the work. The hardest thing is getting through the door.
It is, yeah. And,
But
I
this
mean,
stops.
I know this one stops you. I mean, a lot of people went because I lift weights and they say, "Oh, PJ, you're lifting weights." I'm not bodybuilding. I'm lifting weights for general fitness.
Yeah,
There's a big difference. The weights that I lift are basically compound workouts.
yeah,
So therefore, general fitness. They're not bodybuilding. I'm not doing any bodybuilding workouts. So I mean, have you noticed? I was just telling the friends of mine, have you noticed the amount of weight I'm lifting? I don't look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
My body is not massive like a bodybuilder. I'm not a bodybuilder because my workout is not bodybuilding. You
Yeah.
might be seeing me squatting, deadlifting, rowing, or
Yeah.
bench pressing, but they're not body focused for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I don't have a bodybuilder's body.
No, but you lift good weights as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But that's to do with strength. That's not so much as, you know, you're training for your purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
And that gets lost on a lot of people that associate, again, lifting weights with bodybuilders or Olympic lifters and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got gyms in this town where you can go to for specific kind of strongman lifting, or you can go for crossfitting, or you can go for general gym training.
Yes.
And then because you've got all those different things, it's hard for people to understand that each one has a different kind of offering.
Yeah, it's a niche. Yeah,
It's niche,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So they're
niche.
kind of saying, oh, well, I'll just go to that gym because it's a gym. And you think, right, okay, well, how does that align with your goals?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they go, oh, I don't know. I didn't know it had to. It's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, it does. You've got to get down to the specifics.
Yeah. I think I was talking to a friend of mine, having like a general fitness, a baseline, people like going back to like CrossFit, the strength and conditioning that CrossFit does.
Yeah.
When people look at the athletes, people forget that those athletes were, when you're watching them, they're at their peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at their peak. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've spent years training for that.
Yeah. So when they perform in that CrossFit competition, that's the peak. And then
Yeah.
after that, they don't do what they're doing. They forget that they deload
Big
after
time.
that. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. It's
And then
all
they,
about those markers. They train for specific events throughout the year. So it's not just the CrossFit games, it's
yeah,
all the miniature regionals and things like that that they do as well.
yeah,
Whereas some people go to CrossFit thinking that's exactly what they'll be doing.
yeah.
No, not
No,
quite.
yeah.
No, it's a
They're,
totally different level.
yeah, they're the athletes. So you're not an
Yeah,
athlete. They do different.
yeah,
Don't expect to look like them in a
yeah,
short period of
exactly.
time. Yeah,
Similar
they're athletes.
principles, similar workouts,
Yeah,
but they have a specific set of workouts to do rather than just, what everyone generically does within CrossFit. And then they have to work at such a high level. People push hard in all manners of training, they really do. But if you go to most commercial gyms, if you go to a large gym, it's seldom you'll see someone lying on the floor, gasping for breath,
no, you
trying
don't.
to recover because they don't train that way in that gym.
No, they don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't.
Whereas some of the gyms will have you literally on your ass on the floor,
Yeah,
wondering what you've just done to yourself. And you say, yes, that's you training for your goals and objectives
true. Yeah.
rather than you
Right.
going through the motion.
Yeah. I got friends asking me as well, oh, how do I approach my trainings? I said, for example, if your RPE of 1 to 10 on
Yeah.
on my training, I just stay from 6 to 7. That's
Yeah.
my training. So
Yeah.
when I go somewhere else, when I get pushed, then I can still go higher. I can
Yeah.
rest. I
Yeah.
don't go 10 all the time when I'm working out.
No.
S-
No. It's
I'm gonna
unsustainable. It's not going
Yeah,
to.
or 9, 9, 10, 9, 10. I don't go there. I just stay around 5, 6, 7, 7, 5, 6. Stay there. And then if I go like do a group workout with somebody else, sometimes I visit a CrossFit gym. Then I can push myself to
Push.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
push.
If you've got that foundation, you
But
know what your
already,
body's
yeah.
capable of. Yeah.
So I
And you
already
can get
got,
that comfort zone.
I already got that zone that I know.
Yeah.
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 Now it only depends if I want to push myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that it depends on how you want to push yourself. But people, they don't know what their ceiling is like.
No. And some people are afraid to even find out where that is.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, say, oh, I go to training all the time. And you think, okay, but are you training with enough kind of regularity? You're going 2 to 3 times a week, that's great. But if you've been going 2 to 3 times a week and your RPE is around 5 all the time, you're not really capable of pushing to those higher levels because you never really tested it out.
Yeah.
Maybe do a session 2 during the week where your RPE is 5 and then 1 where it's 8.
Yeah.
People don't like that either. They're kind of like,
I know.
oh, it's just a bit hard. I don't want massive muscles. I don't want this, that, and the other. They say, seriously, you won't get that.
No.
Your
Yeah.
nutrition, your hormones, and the weights you lift have to be a certain level
It
for you
is.
to
Yeah.
end up getting big,
It is. Yeah. It's such a big factor. Like you said, nutrition, uh, supplementation as well, and that one on top.
Yeah,
It's a lot of factor if you really want to go big. So I was telling some of my friends, I'm not I'm not even big. You saw me lift. I'm not big like the other guys who lift.
yeah,
Yes, the other guys, the other bodybuilders say, "Oh, I'm strong." I don't. Yeah, maybe I'm strong, but I don't look like you guys bodybuilders are because I don't
yeah,
really train for that purpose. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Because I want to be able to move my body because I'm into the
Yeah.
martial arts bit. Yeah, so I cannot afford to look like a bodybuilder.
No, you definitely can't.
Yeah,
You have a multi-discipline approach, which is perfect because that's what I think that I want to try and advocate most at BPT. We kind of get people to understand that going out for a bike ride is important. Going out for a walk is important. Maybe even trying a jog. But if it's not for you, don't worry about it. Just
no.
walk a little bit
Yeah,
faster,
true.
or walk a little bit longer. Do the
Yeah,
things that are comfortable to you, because when you come training, I will give you a bit of discomfort.
yeah.
I will get you out of that kind of,
Comfort
oh, this
zone.
is okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is okay, but I get you out of that comfort zone
Mhm.
into the place that's going to get you results, because that is essentially what our job is. We have to give people that little bit more. And
Yes.
people kind of get into the habit of undermining what they're capable of.
Mhm.
They're not aware because they've never tried it.
True.
And they've got that little fear of where they might have tried it on their own without the coach and
Mhm.
hurt themselves. Like the people that go to the gym, go through the watching and doing what everyone else is
Yeah.
doing, and then overuse injuries, repetitive strain injuries, they get hurt, they get unhappy about what they're doing. And then you get to show them that this is the way you can do it. Oh, Peter, I've hurt my back before, so I don't want to do a deadlift. You're like, come on, we can build you a stronger back that will
True.
be less likely to give you trouble again by getting the deadlift
Mhm.
correct. So,
It's
yeah, it's a tricky game of getting people to understand that the human body is very, very capable of adaptation. But your
yes.
mind is the thing that will let you down because it'll say, I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it.
I mean the old mentality. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to lift weights, because I'll go big. That the girls are quite happy. That's the ladies' excuse.
Yeah,
I don't want because
yeah,
but if they understood that muscles can burn more fat, it'll
yeah.
probably change their outlook
Yeah,
on.
and that's one of the selling points I give to
Yeah,
doing kettlebells and weightlifting
yeah,
and the gym sessions that we do, is that just that little bit of more metabolic muscle tissue on your body,
yeah,
it burns more fat. Girls, they're like, what? Serious? I'm like, yeah, yeah. So you can afford to put a little bit more back on your body
yeah.
without looking like She-Hulk.
Mhm.
You will be fine. And then as the fat continues to strip off the body, you end up looking better, feeling better. It's the best way to go.
It is, yeah. So,
There's a guy called Phil Richards Performance. He always said, if you want fat loss, train weightlifting.
yeah,
That's simple.
I know.
That's the
Yeah, it's so. I call it one.
get off the cardio, get up to the weights.
Yeah, lift weights. That's what they're saying. Lift weights. Because
Yeah,
somebody said, oh, there's a runner there, and then they call him like being a runner. You end up skinny fat. I don't know if that
yeah,
term is
yeah,
even exists, but I've read.
yeah.
He said, yes, skinny fat. What do you mean by skinny fat? But
It's scary because the muscle demand for running, just constant pace rather than sprinting.
Mhm.
Sprinting is obviously more a fast twitch muscle
Yeah,
fiber kind of activity, so it's explosive, bigger muscle fibers. So that's why sprinters are built the way they are.
Mhm.
Long distance runners, they tend to rely less on that kind of fast twitch element, and they have the slow twitch muscle fiber, which takes up a little bit less room. Essentially, they don't need to be as muscular.
Mhm.
So to make them a better runner, being lighter serves them. So the less heavy metabolic lean muscle mass on them, the better. So
Yeah.
that's where people that start running might find that they start eating into the hard-earned gains they've been trying to make in the gym, because their body's saying, oh, we have a little bit of extra muscle here.
Yeah.
The energy needs to be come from somewhere. So let's take a little bit of, you know, proteins and amino
Yeah.
acids and break them down and use that for energy. And before you know it, the muscle you made is gone.
Yeah.
Running does not serve it.
Mhm. True. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
for the best bodies and the best shape that they want to get in, if all they're doing is running, they're going to be very disappointed by the end of it all.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. So
yeah.
unfortunate truth.
Yeah. That's the hard truth about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you've got people that say, oh, couch to 5K, do that app.
Mhm.
And you think, okay, that's good. But what do you want to achieve? Do you want to be a 5K runner?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just want a better body. Okay, then what weights are you doing? Oh, I'm not doing weights.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I think
Don't fear the weights, people. Do
don't
not fear
forget.
the weights.
Yeah. The
They are your
weights.
best friend.
Yeah. I mean, all they need is one kettlebell, and
You can do so much.
yeah, so much with the kettlebell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, during the lockdown, that's my staple workout kettlebell.
Yeah. Kept you going.
Yeah, keeps you
You get
going.
lost out that thing.
No, yeah, that's the thing with people and workout. It's just trying to find out which workout they're going through and knowing what they really want to accomplish in the workouts.
Yeah.
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 So
I think a lot of it as well is you get people that talk about how it becomes a form of therapy for them.
yeah,
So although they have physical goals and they have all those desires, they've also got that time where they get to switch off and be with themselves. They're away from everything else. And that's really important for people to latch onto, is that, the strength and conditioning that you do is great, but also understand what it does for you in a totally different way. Your mental health, your physical and mental fortitude could go hand in hand with the right kind of training. The kind of training, like you say, that just breaks you every single time, it doesn't work.
no,
You've
that's it.
got to be able to take the foot off the gas just a little bit now and again.
Yeah,
Let the results settle in so you don't become overwhelmed with the cortisol and the catabolic state that your body's in, and then you just feel run down. Your body's not taking on enough minerals and vitamins because you're just not eating right and things like that. Again, I've said the word a few times now, but balance, if you can get it right, you're flying. You're absolutely killing it.
yeah.
Most people look at extremes.
It's balance. Yeah, it's finding that perfect balance. It might be perfect for me, but it won't be perfect for somebody
Exactly. And
else.
if you think about your work and how many different hours and the timeline that
Yeah,
you have, it's all over the place. How you do so well is a perfect example to other people that use the excuse of, I don't have the time, I don't have the
yeah,
energy. I say, well, this guy finds it every time.
yeah.
He's a dad, he's working crazy hours, he's still coaching, and he's still doing the work.
So it's hard. It's that's why I said it's getting that mindset.
Yeah,
It's mindset. It's a lot
yeah,
of mindset and a lot of uh, planning what to do
yeah,
during the day, and then you plan ahead in a week
yeah,
and see, okay, where can I squeeze this? Where can I squeeze that? And all
yeah.
that. And then
Yeah,
just
accepting that you have to adapt. You have to be someone that can look at the day and go, yeah, I can piece that in here, I can piece that in there, and I'm going to make the time to do it. So if you make training a part of your unnegotiable kind of things, so like people say, I am going to work,
yeah,
because in their head they think they have to.
you have to.
I'm going to pick the kids up from school because I have to. I'm going training. Do I have to? If they start thinking about it as
Yeah,
though they have to, they're winning. They're way ahead again. They make it something that is part of their habit, part of their lifestyle, part of them.
Yeah.
They will be so much happier, stronger, healthier people just by doing that.
So I always advocate, well, tell my friends, clients, all you have to do to start working out is just start 15 to 30 minutes, make it a habit,
Yeah,
put it into your day. I
that's
mean,
simple.
just get that one. And then once you get stronger with that discipline, maybe you can stretch it to an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
yeah.
who
Or
knows?
add a half-hour session in somewhere else.
Another, yeah. So
Yeah, just tweak it here
just
and there.
tweak it in there. And then if you feel a lot comfortable with your body, then maybe you can join a gym, go and,
Yeah, yeah.
get your coach with all that. So, but
That's it again. You don't have to be in a gym to do a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
Again, just using your body to start with. Get outside. Do
Yeah,
your tricep dips on your sofa or your kitchen chair.
sure.
Do a set of step ups on your stairs. All these different things. That seems people, I don't think, have enough faith in the fact that starting and getting the ball rolling is the most important bit. And then, like you say, it becomes a snowball effect. You can get things going from there.
Yeah. A guy that I've influenced to do push-ups, to continue with the push-ups when he was doing the 25 push-up challenge.
Yeah.
I told him, just continue doing it. He said, oh, I don't know. I have no time, blah, blah, blah. You can do it. I told him, do 100. So
Make
I told
25
him, I told him 100 push-up a day. And then he just went back, 100 push-ups. How am I going to do that? I just told him, just do 10 push-ups every hour.
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
push-ups every hour.
Yeah.
You can do 100 and then you'll finish your 100. And then
Yeah.
his eyes just went like that. Oh, it's a good idea because he works as a cleaner. So I said,
Yeah.
oh, so every time I go to one room that I clean, I'll just do 10 push-ups. Yeah, just do that. So he's doing 100 push-ups every day.
Yeah. I mean, people, again, they don't associate that with 100 press ups, though.
No.
They think, oh, you've only done 10. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, right now I have. But by the end of today, I will have done 100 more press ups than you
Sure.
because you're looking at that one number and not trying it.
True.
Yeah. It's like when you get some of the guys that start off and they're like, for example, in their strength and conditioning programming, I've got a guy that's doing a set of bench press and seated row work.
Yeah.
And the weights he's got for his final set are slightly beyond what he can do right now for the full set. And I said, well, this is where you adapt the training and you create what is a cluster set. So you have one set of 8 to finish on that weight. You can't do it right now, but you do 2 sets of 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. And I said, but you do it with a short rest period in between. So I said, what you're going to do is you're going to do your 4, struggle to do the 4, but get it done with the proper form.
Yeah.
Re-wrap, rest for 30 seconds only, and then attack that final 4. Whereas most kind of rest periods in between heavy lifting is maybe 45 to 90 seconds, maybe, to recover. And then this guy is only getting the 30 seconds, if that, and then boom, straight back in. And I said, by the end of the month, you will finish that set at that weight. Sure enough, he did. He was chuffed. So it's nice seeing his notes in his feedback on his workouts coming back saying couldn't do it. So I told him what to do. And then he started to do it. And then by the end of the month, he said, did it.
I know.
Job done.
Yeah.
And that's where the coach kind of client relationship is so important. You have to talk to each other. It's not just a case of us as coaches saying, do this.
True, yeah.
Because you're going to get some people that turn around and say, I actually can't do it. And you say, right, I'm going to teach you how you can. This is what you do to tweak it. Yes. Because some people will say to you straight away, I can't do that, without even trying. And I think the good thing that as a coach you're able to do is that you're able to see how they've developed in movement and in strength and coordination. Mm-hmm. And then you say, right, I know through my experience that this body is going to be able to do it if I can get the mind right for them.
True, yeah.
But then you get them to have, you tell them what you're going to do, and they're just sat there going, nah, man, no chance. And then you have to remind them that your belief in them and your experience is what they've come to you for. So whatever doubts they have, you're able to push them to one side for them and say, just give it a go. I'll be there with you. Let's try. And, most of the time they're able to do it straight away, and they look at you in shock and they say, that's your progress. No matter what the weight scale says, you're already starting to make progress in other things. So stop looking at your weight. Stop looking at that. Your clothes fit better. Are you performing better? Are you sleeping better? Are your days more productive? It's a great game to be in.
Yeah. That's why, talking about strength and conditioning, that's the topic I chose to discuss with you, because I know you have more knowledge in this one. And then with me doing strength training as well, plus the conditioning side, I really think that they go hand in hand. I do a lot of, that's what I said earlier, I do a lot of compound exercises. And then just recently I've decided to do a marathon training, 25-day marathon training for this hospice.
Yeah, I saw you post about that. I think, this is different.
For the hospice. So I know it's unconventional thing, but I'm doing it for a different purpose. I said, I'm going to do it for the charity. So, okay, I'm willing to suffer for this one.
Good
but
man.
when I did my first 2 runs just earlier this week, I was quite surprised when I did those 2 runs. It's like my first run, my body didn't hurt. 3 hours running, so that means my core was strong enough to handle that one. The legs and all that was good enough. Finished the first 3-hour run. Finish it with half an hour cycling and some body weight exercises. So my body was able to take that punishment on the first day, and I did another run. So I said, so my strength training actually did pay off.
Yeah.
Because I was able to do this, even though I was doing running and other cardio exercises, but I don't really do long runs, which I said to myself before, I'm not going to do any long runs because that's not the body that I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because of this one, it's a different approach. I said, let me see. Let me see what I can challenge myself to do. So I was like, okay. So that strength is really a key factor.
Perfect example of how it works.
Yeah.
It's what makes people perform better. So like you say, a runner runs. If they want to be a great runner, a runner's strength and conditions. How it works. Do that stuff. It makes you far better, far better, well-rounded athlete.
Yeah. But I think that the aim is for me is to finish it for the charity. Yeah. And I'm not aiming for the time. So that's a big factor as well. So when people say, oh, your time that's irrelevant, think about the preparation I have. I only got 25 days anyway. So that's out of the window. I'm not timing myself to go for 4 hours marathon, I'm not in that league. That's a different league. But the aim and the goal is to finish this for the charity. So whatever time it is.
The good thing is you know your goal, you have perspective, and you're going to do what's needed to get that done.
Yeah.
Rather than look at the big number or the artificial kind of thing that isn't really relevant to you.
Yeah.
So again, going back to people's goals and objectives, if they're looking at the social media all the time and fantasizing about, looking that way, take a step back, figure out what is important to you, what you want to achieve, and then do the work that gets you that.
Cool. All right. So that's a very good discussion about sports and conditioning, Coach.
Yeah, it's been great.
Any last words for our listeners and watchers?
No, other than the fact that it's more a case of what you're doing right now with this project you're doing. I think it's a really, really good idea. I think you're going to help a lot of people. So this kind of group that you've got together to do this kind of work, you obviously having a bit of fun doing it as well, but you're going to send a message out that I think just needs to be kept on sending out to people. So thanks for inviting me onto this, bro. It was good. Enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you very much. And I hope to catch you soon again for more episodes. If you're
no worries,
back and have another discussion.
I'll be happy to, mate.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. This is Peter Walkom here, our guest, BodyTrack PT. I'll put up a link of his website so you can, if you're up here in the north of the island in Ramsey, hook it up, check the
Yeah,
gym.
come see. You're more than welcome, guys.
So drop Peter a message and he'll be willing to help you, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
If we won't help you, tell me.
You will, yeah.
You will. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Peter, for coming and joining us. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Take care, all.
All right.